Making over 955 YouTube videos taught me something that most creators never figure out. Content doesn't win because it looks good, it actually wins because it feels right to the viewer. Because while quality is important, it doesn't matter how polished your edits are. If it doesn't hit the brain the right way, people will keep scrolling or stop watching your videos shortly after they started. I'm going to show you how to ethically use viewer psychology to hook your viewers, keep them watching longer, and eventually turn them into loyal fans and customers. This is the invisible system behind every viral video and every high-ticket sell. And if you master this, you'll not only skyrocket your views, it'll actually make your content impossible to ignore. And to help you out even further, at the end of this video, make sure you go in today's video description to download my free GPT. It's my free AI that's packed and preloaded with all of my frameworks, title formulas to help you write better videos, get more clicks, and overall level up your content. Now, people don't click necessarily because they want to feel informed. They click because they feel something. Something is emotionally pulling them to click on your video. But when it comes to content, not all viewer emotion is equal. Because while curiosity and desire are both driving forces that make people click, the number one emotion is actually fear. Now, I'm not talking about horror movie fear, where they're like fearing for their life, but more so subconscious fear. The fear of missing out, the fear of not knowing, the fear of being left behind, the fear of not being enough. Because a little pro tip, great content subtly mirrors the fears that your viewer has, and it makes them feel seen. And then you can use that to keep them hooked and then show them a way out. Now, one could argue that this is even like manipulation, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as ethical emotion alignment, because you're not just trying to manipulate people to get views and force them to watch, you're trying to help them. But the problem is, most viewers are problem aware, they're not solution aware. So they know something's going on and they're afraid of it, but they're not committed to finding a cure, and it doesn't really pull them in the same way as fear does. So you're not creating fear out of thin air or lying to them, you're just revealing what your audience already feels, even if they haven't admitted it to themselves. And here's a simple fear framework that I use. Number one, target the fear silently. Don't just come out of the gate and say you'll fail. Just show them someone like them failing. Number two, you want to tease the transformation early. So here's an example. I used to feel like content was pointless until I understood this. Number three, you want to build a little bit of tension. So press on the fear, but also add a little bit of urgency. Number four, right after this, you also want to follow it up by delivering hope. Show a clear, believable solution. And number five, you want to redirect to action. Comment, watch next, buy, or sign up. Because even though they have fear and you're targeting that, no one is ever going to buy or become a fan if they don't trust you. You're trying to get them to like, know, and trust you. So this is going to take time, but with an effective strategy, you can speed this up to days, not months or years. Now here's a really good example of this. Let's say you're selling something that's going to help somebody attain a goal. I'm just going to use fitness, for example, because most people probably don't like the way they look, or that obviously everyone can improve in some way. But instead of saying, this is going to help you lose 20 pounds in 60 days, here's a better way to frame it. Most people will spend years going back and forth, not happy with the way they look. And it's not even necessarily that they're lazy, it's just because they don't know how to put a strategy in place. So now you've triggered the fear, like the wasted time and the irrelevance. You introduce curiosity, like there's a why, and then you can tease your system or your solve. So it's not always about the transformation, it's also about getting away from pain, fear of wasting time, fear of not getting it, the fear of not knowing how to do it. And another example, like with content creation, most creators, including myself, have dealt with burnout. And most people will preach hustle, hustle, hustle. But instead of that, I would actually choose to frame it like this. Most creators don't burn out because they're lazy. They burn out because no one showed them how to build content that actually builds income and is centered around what they love and what they're passionate about. Because instead of just pushing through and trying to go harder and relying on motivation that's far and few in between and doesn't really happen often, if you are doing something that you love and creating a great living while doing it, it's a lot less likely that you're ever going to experience burnout. Hey, before I keep going, like I said, you can get my free GPT in today's video description. Click on the link, it'll take you to ChatGPT. It's free. It's going to help you to take everything that you're learning in this video and streamline it to not only use it more effectively and faster, to stop you from wasting any more time. Now, on top of fear, curiosity is another great emotion. And this is actually a driving force that can be stacked on top of a foundation of fear. So like instead of saying this tip will help, say something like most creators think this helps. And actually, I used to think this as well until I found a better way. You're still trying to give them a tip, but you're just framing it different out of curiosity as a driving emotion. And in the content game, that's something that we like to call the curiosity loop, because you're causing like a loop, like a racetrack loop, because as soon as you put the curiosity in, they're going to be going around thinking about this until they find the solution. And a little pro tip, after this, you can even add in a story, just a little micro story to kind of show a transformation. So start with a little bit of pain and then show progress, whatever this looks like for your niche. Because all you're trying to do is get trust. So your viewers should actually feel like you are telling their story better than they could. And that is a very simple framework for getting more views. But here's the big problem that no one talks about. When you start using this strategy, two things that will happen, and honestly, if you're not prepared for them, this will cause you to quit. Because while your content will start to connect deeper and you're starting to get more engagement and more views and build a real loyal audience, people will also start to push back because now you're kind of punching them right in the gut and calling out their problems. But here's the hard truth that I had to learn. If you're not getting some sort of pushback or hate, you're probably not resonating deep enough. Because even though it's not fun in the moment, the truth is, if you're getting haters, you're probably doing something right. Unfortunately, this used to really bother me. I would spend so much time in the comment section going back and forth. But the truth is, if someone is there watching your videos, watching all the way through, just to leave a negative comment or talk stupid, the chances that you'll actually argue them into listening or argue yourself right or prove that you're right is very slim. So the best thing to do is just ignore it. Focus on the people that are actually watching your content, that are giving you good feedback, or even like, positive criticism where they're saying they want more or they want to go deeper on something, or they like your video, but they wish you would have talked about this more, or whatever it is. Focus on that and engage with the people that are there to actually support you. Take the feedback so you can actually go deeper and serve them at a higher level. And now that you know this and you know how to master psychology to keep your viewers engaged, without a good story, they're not going to keep watching, and they're definitely not going to come back and watch more of your videos, which is exactly what you want, because that is going to create trust, build your following, and turn viewers into buyers. And if you want to learn how to tell better stories to 10x your views and create a loyal audience, make sure you watch this video, and I'll see you over there.